Hello friends, today I'm going to solve LeetCode problem number 1833, maximum ice cream bars. In this problem, we are given an array cost and an integer value coins. So the cost, the value at each index I in the cost array represents the number of coins that is required to buy the ith ice cream. And coins is the total number of coins available. So we can only use maximum of coins to buy ice cream, and what we need to do is we need to maximize the number of ice creams that could be bought using this integer value of coins. Now let's see how we could solve this problem. So using a brute force solution, what would we do? We need to buy the maximum number of ice cream, right? Which means that we need to buy the ice creams which have the least cost. So we need the ice creams that cost the least. So which are the ice creams that cost the least? Let's arrange it in an ascending order. So we have something like this. When we arrange it in an ascending order, so this is what we have, and this is still the value, the cost of purchasing this ice cream. The cost of purchasing another ice cream is this much. So each ice cream costs these much values, right? Now what are we given is we are given 7 coins. So since these ice cream cost only 1 coin, which is less than 7, right? So we are able to buy this ice cream. Now the available amount, which is the available number of coins after we purchase this, which will be minus the cost of this ice cream, right? Which is equals to 6. The available remaining coins is equals to 6. Now since 1 is also less than 6, we can buy that ice cream. Now the remaining amount is equals to 5. So we bought this ice cream, the remaining amount is 5. We could also buy this ice cream. So what's the remaining amount? It is equals to 3, right? So we bought this one and the remaining amount is equals to 3. Now 3 is equals to 3, so we have 3 coins and this ice cream cost 3, so we can buy this one. So we bought this and our remaining amount is equals to 0. So since now the value of coins that we have remaining is equals to 0, which means that we can no longer buy any ice creams, right? So how many ice creams were we able to buy? We were able to buy 4 ice creams here. So this is one way to solve the problem, by sorting the cost, which would take a time complexity of O of n log of n, and the space complexity is log of n, because sorting itself takes log of n time space complexity in JavaScript. Now another way to solve this problem is by using frequencies. So let's try solving this problem using another method. So what do we need is we need to create an array of frequencies. So what is the maximum length of the array that we need to create? Of course, we have coins, ice cream that cost 1, that cost 2, that cost 3 coins, and that cost 4 coins, right? So what do we need is we need to create a frequency array. I'll just write it CF, and each of the index 1 will have a frequency of what? 2, because we have 2 ice creams that cost 1, right? So this will be a value 2, and the index 2 would be equals to 1, index 3 would be equals to 1 again, and the highest value we have is index 4, which is equals to again 1. So this will be our array, but we know array is always 0 indexed, right? So we will also have a 0 indexed array, frequency array, whose value will be equals to 0. And now what we need to do is, since we already have the array, we are gonna traverse through the array. So we are gonna start from the first index until the last, and we are only taking the array value up to 4, because we don't need to calculate for 5 or 6, because there is no ice cream of that cost, right? So we do not need to create the frequency for that one. So since we have the frequency array, now we traverse from the very first, and since the very first index is 0, whose value is equals to 0, so we don't have to do anything, so we keep on continuing. Now once we reach this index, the cost is equals to 1, right? And the coins that we have right now is equals to 7. We have not used our coins so far, so total coins we have is 7, and the cost is equals to 1. So 1 is less than 7, right? And also, are we able to buy all the ice creams that cost 1 coin? Well, yes, we are able to buy all the ice creams that cost 1 coin, right? Because the frequency is equals to 2, right? Which means 2 ice creams cost 1 coin, and we have the total amount, resulting amount would be equals to 2 times 1, which is equals to 2, right? So since our number of coins, total coins available is 7, which is greater than 2, so what we'll do is we can buy these ice creams. So now our resulting coins is equals to 6. Now we move on to the next value here, and what we see, the cost is equals to 2, and is 2 greater than or 6? No, it's not. So since 2 is less than 6, which means that we can still buy this ice cream, and since its frequency is 1, so we are able to buy it. We subtract it by 2, which is the cost of the ice cream, and the remaining amount is equals to 4. Now what we do is we look at this value. It's still 4 is still greater than 3, which means we buy this ice cream as well, and our remaining value is now equals to 1. Now we move on to the next one, and we see that 1, which is the remaining coin we have, is less than 4, which means that we cannot buy this ice cream. And what we do is we break from the loop, that is we stop here, because we know any other values would also have been greater than 1, greater than 4, which would obviously be greater than 1, because 4 is greater than 1. So we stop right there, and then we count the frequencies, which is equals to 4, so we are able to buy 4 ice creams. So this will be our result. Now let's try to write our code. So n is the length of the array, and let us find the maximum value of the cost. So once we have the maximum value, that will be the limit, that is the size of our frequency array. So cost frequency equals to of size m plus 1, and we will fill all the values with 0. And what are we going to do is now we fill the frequencies out. So once we have all the frequencies, we define our result, that is the number of ice creams that we can buy equals to 0 initially, and then we iterate through each of the values in the cost frequency. So let I equals to 0, I is less than or equals to m, I plus plus. We could just start from 1, because we know 0 would always have like 0 frequency, it'll always have the value 0, so we don't need to do that. And it's equals to m, because m is the last index. M is the last index here, because m here is the maximum value, which is equals to 4, will be the last index. So that is what we need to do here. And now if the value, the frequency is equals to 0, then we just keep continuing because we don't have to do anything. And if the number of coins we have available is less than the cost of that ice cream, that we just break from the loop. We are not able to buy any more ice creams, so we get out of the loop, and then what we do is we return our result. If not, what we do is we calculate the number of ice creams that we could buy. So count equals to math minimum value of, either we can buy all the ice creams or we could only buy based on the coins that we have. If the coins is so what we do is we take the division, that is we divide our coins by the amount cost of the ice cream. This would give us the number of ice cream that we could buy, and this is the frequency of the ice creams that we could buy. So this means that we could buy if the number of coins is less, then we would get the minimum value from this one, else we will get the value from this one. And once we have the count, that is the number of ice creams that we can buy, so we could just add that count to our result. And we also since we have bought the ice cream, so we reduce from our resulting coins, total coins, the cost of buying these many ice creams. It would be the value I. Now let's try to run our code. Okay, all right. Okay, it's if it's equals to 0. Cool, let's submit it. So the space complexity here is O of m because we are using an array here, and the time complexity would be, this is of O of n time complexity, this here is O of n, and this here is O of m time complexity. So the total would be O of m plus n time complexity, and the space complexity would be O of n. Okay, we got the wrong answer here. And why is that? Okay, so what we need is, in JavaScript we always need to we always need to do this thing here, else we could get a floating integer value, because JavaScript is not type specific. Cool, so hope it was helpful.